What is going on? Welcome to Waiver Wire Tuesday. I love Tuesdays. I woke up this morning, Vince, freaked out because I woke up and I thought it was Wednesday. And I was like, holy crap, I didn't put in any waivers. What the hell? Right. So I was freaking out and then come to realize, oh, it's only Tuesday. Rave's saying that we're late, as always. He says, fix the intro. We need some help, nephew. Let us know what's in right now. Okay. So you could help us be hip, be rad, whatever the word is. But Vince, how are you feeling about this past week, fantasy football?
Pretty good. I went 3 for 5 this week. It's my worst week so far. But the leagues that I won in, 2 of them, I'm still 3-0, and the other one, I'm 2-1. So not too bad.
Nice. I won my first game in Dynasty football. Finally, someone did not drop a 200 burger on me.
Yeah.
And I came out with a dub. I was actually top 3 in scores. So happy with that. But Ray says, woke up this morning at 7 a.m. mad AF from last night. Hey, dude, I needed 21 points from James Cook. But the Bills decided to steamboat the Jaguars and they set out Cook. He ended up with 18 points. I was pretty pissed as well. School was not it. It is what it is, right?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, we had a lot of close games. Fantasy games, people are all over the place, right? So people want to know, hey, who do we pick up? Who do we need to look out for? Because I feel like I know what I need, but then these guys just come out and get 3 points, right? I picked up Alec Pierce because he had a great week 1, great week 2, and now he gave me 3 points and he only had 2 targets. Well, that's why you come to the show, right? You come to the show because we're going to let you know what his snap percentage is, what the targets look like, how many passing attempts Anthony Richardson is, and to let you know that it is okay to drop Anthony Richardson at this time. It is a-okay. Don't worry about it. Don't think twice. I know we had a lot of upside on him, but that is out the door. I want nothing to do with him. What do you think, Vince?
Yeah, bro. I'm ready to replace him with like Justin Fields, with Geno Smith. I have him in one league, and I'm ready to kind of drop the ball on everybody from the Colts except for their running back Jonathan Taylor. Basically, he's the only guy worth anything on that team. Nobody else is consistent. Not Downs, not Pittman, not Alec Pierce. It just all flows through the quarterback position, and right now he's just not doing really well. So
very true. Big Way Joe says he was happy. He picked up the Buffalo's defense last minute to beat the Dizzler. Yeah, great last minute move. Good for you, man. Good to get that dub. Do we have any news on Devontae Smith? It doesn't look good, right? So he's going on concussion protocol here. So he's going to be missing some time. Not great, not very ideal for him because you don't want him to miss time. Right now is a time to use him. That AJ Brown is injured. You want him on the field. But yeah, it's not looking good over there in Philly. You could go and try to pick up, someone like Jawan Dotson, but they're not very. They don't have a lot of value for fantasy football. It's poor news. Probably missed a game, maybe 2. Same thing with McBride. McBride is also a huge hit on the injury report, right? McBride goes down with a concussion, could miss a game, could miss 2, could miss more. Depends on how bad that concussion was. But that's a huge hit because he was one of the only tight ends that was actually putting up points, right? But we got a lot of people to talk about. Laporta, dang it, there's so much going on right now.
A lot of injuries again this week.
It just stacks up, continuously stacks up. Micah Traw says, who do you think I should trade Pittman for? Right now, you got to trade him high as you can. I'll try to get a low end wide receiver 3, a high end running back 3. You want to get someone who's kind of in the shadows right now. Maybe a good candidate for you, if someone will fall for it, is like a Joe Mixon. That he's injured right now. People are not paying attention to him. People are saying pick up Cam Akers, which you shouldn't be picking up Cam Akers unless you're absolutely desperate. But yeah, someone like Joe Mixon, who will be the absolute bell cow of that offense. And right now, I'm trying to buy low in every single league. Kenneth Walker. That's the guy you really want to get, right? You could use the fact, oh, this guy gets injured every single year. I mean, he's ready after week 1, he's injured. He comes back. Zach Charbonnet is doing so well. He might take some spot. That's Kenneth Walker's backfield once he's healthy. So that's another guy to take. What do you think, Vince? You got anyone in mind?
Yeah, man. If you can get someone as high as like Devontae Smith, maybe, since he's injured right now, a lot of people are pretty down in the dumps after the first 3 weeks. A lot of people are 1-2, 2-1, have a lot of injuries, and want people who are able to play right now to keep up and to keep winning. So if you can trade for guys like Devontae Smith, I mean, shoot, I'm even probably going after Drake London after he's been consistent. Now he's actually earned my respect. He had 2 weeks with 15 plus points, so I like it. But other guys that you can probably go after that nobody's really valuing too much is like Olave and, of course, DJ Moore, who are being consistent now. So hopefully Caleb Williams can keep it up, but he's got a plethora of guys over there to throw to.
Nice. I'm very surprised you're with that Drake London now. I know you've been against him for so long, but he has been looking good. I will give him that. Zamir seems droppable as well. If you could avoid dropping him, I would, just because you drafted him so high, more than likely top 6 rounds, so your draft. But yes, Zamir White is a droppable candidate. Week 1, he had 36% of the snaps, and you're like, holy crap, that's a red flag. Week 2, gets 67% of the snaps. Okay, we're back. He has the volume. And then week 3, he craps the bed once again. That's it. Strike 3, you're out. I think it's pretty much safe to say that you could drop Zamir White here. AR, Trevor Lawrence, and Levis all suck. Yeah, we're dropping Trevor Lawrence. We were not even thinking about Levis. Yeah. Thought of AFC South was going to be good this year. Come on, man.
Sorry,
come on. Trevor Levis needs a better O-line for sure. What's up, everyone? Better waiver tight end pickup, Komet or Fant, based on the matchup, full PPR. KJ, appreciate you being here as always. Vincent, you're a tight end guy. I know the answer. I think you're going to say the same thing.
It has to be Komet, man. The Rams are just totally depleted. I won't say that Fant is a bad option because he did well this past game. But again, that was all going down into the third and fourth quarter. We were already up. So we really weren't looking for any long bombs with DK Metcalf or JSN. But Nick Fant was quite open. He had a little bit of issues in the beginning of the season, the first 2 weeks, with a lot of dropped passes. But now he's got it a little bit better. But Komet, man, I mean, I drafted him in like the 11th round in one of our leagues. I was like, I'm going to keep, I think it was our dynasty league. I was like, I'm going to keep him until Caleb Williams shows me that he's a capable person. He needs to stay on my roster, but I dropped him, but now I'm picking him back up. So hopefully I get him. But yeah,
I like Fant here more as well. The only thing I don't like about Fant, and I'll give someone like Tyler Conklin a little bit of an edge, is that Fant saw 51% of the snap share between the tight ends. And although he's taking the majority between the other tight ends, it's just still something to look out for, but he's getting the targets, so why not? As long as Kenneth Walker's out, that's a pass-heavy team. I love it.
Exactly.
I just traded for Devontae Smith, but I didn't give up Pittman. You want to sell Pittman as soon as you can, in my opinion.
Yep.
Should I drop Javonte Williams for a bye week? QB is Darnold, Fields, Dalton. Have Hurts full PPR. Should you drop Javonte Williams for a bye week? Honestly, you can find Williams in the waiver wire. I wouldn't recommend dropping him.
I don't know. I'm not super high on Javonte, but I mean, running backs are scarce right now, so I'm pretty sure he's going to get swooped up.
Yeah.
But
don't be mad if you lose him, right? For good. If you lose him for good, that's what's going to happen, basically.
Yeah. Just depends how deep your league is.
For sure. Big Money Joe, Javante is jobbable. Micah Trawl says, I traded Pitts, Etienne, and Shakir for Smith, Najee, and Sutton. I have Bowers, so I don't need Pitts. Okay, so Pitts is being consistent, right? He's very valuable in the league right now. Even though he doesn't look consistent, his points are consistent. And that's what we're looking for fantasy football, especially in the tight end area. You let go of Shakir, and that's Shalil Shakir, or Shakir. I get mixed up
Khalil Shakir, yeah.
With the Bass, not the Bass, the Bills. Shaheed, yeah, Raheed Shaheed and Shalil Shakir. It's crazy, right? I don't know. It's a tongue twister for me. But Shakir is looking pretty good right now. And for Smith, Najee, and Sutton, Sutton's not a bad option there. Smith is really your go-to guy. And Najee, I feel like now he has lost a lot of value. Right now, we see his cap with fantasy football because now they're getting another running back in the rotation. And that is horrible news for anyone who owns Najee Harris, for anyone who owns Jalen Warren. I said at the beginning of the year, I'm staying away from Steelers running backs, and that's exactly what I'm going to continue to do.
For sure.
What are streamable defenses? The Seahawks got a bad matchup. The Seahawks are going up against a very tough Lions team. So who do we got this week? On my cheat sheet, I did, of course, include the Steelers. If the Steelers are available, which they're available in over 50% of leagues, I will pick them up for show against the Colts. I also like the Jets against the Broncos. That's also a great matchup there for you guys. Cardinals against Washington. I made this before last night's game, so I may take that back. Of course, my boys, the Niners, I got faith in my Niners. They are going up against the Patriots, who struggled to get in the end zone. I would probably say pick up the Niners. I know they're available. People are dropping them. And one last hot take that I see a lot of people doing, I'm not a big fan of this, but just in case you are desperate, is taking either team from this game. And I'm talking about the Titans and Dolphins. They both struggle offensively. You could take either team, and you should be getting at least 6 points. Hopefully, at least 6 points.
But yeah, I don't think that game's going to be high scoring. But if they are on your waiver wire, I'm also going after the Houston Texans. Jacksonville has just been playing horrendous football. As long as Houston can get to them in the backfield, to Trevor Lawrence, I think that they're going to put up some pretty good points. So Houston Texans might be a sleeper.
Yeah, not too bad. I like this next question here, right? What happens to B-Rob? How much does his value go up? And I just want to come out, I guess, some stats real quick for you guys. So they just went up against the Bengals, and we're going to look at the box score between the players and the consistency with rushing. So for the Washington Commanders, we have Robinson at 16 carries. Austin Eckler had 3, and in the receiving, Austin Eckler has 2, and Robinson has 1. So now Robinson's going to get the full amount because the next guy up after Robinson is Jaden Daniels at 12 carries. That's crazy. But this is just going to be Robinson's backfield. His value does go up tremendously because now all the target volume will be going to him unless he needs a breather. Depending what you're trying to do, but I'm starting Robinson.
Yeah, man, against Arizona and then Cleveland in the next game, I think he's going to be a good start for the next 2 weeks. Eckler may be back when they're going against Cleveland, but I see them actually competing here, so it's going to be a healthy give and take with the run and pass in the next 2 games.
Got you. Rave says, does Brooks' value go up with Dalton at QB? It would if Chuba Hubbard fell on his face this past week. Now that's an issue, right? Now Brooks, when he comes back, Chuba Hubbard's playing great. It's not something to look out. I mean, to ignore. He's even on the waiver wire. He's owned in 61% of leagues, so more than likely he's not on there for you if you're in a league that knows their stuff. But he's still out there. If he's out there, go get him right now because he's looking really good. But yes, Brooks' value overall does go up tremendously. I was about to drop him because I thought they're going to ride with Young all year.
I know. We were talking about it. We're like, man, this offense is just horrible. I don't even know if I should keep him.
Right. Yeah. There's no point even to keep him in your IR spot. I have Nick Chubb there, and I was like, I should probably switch him out, take out Brooks, and get the waiver wire. But now I'm going to hold on to him for sure.
Yeah.
I got Javonte. Just give him someone else and make Javonte their problem. I prefer Najee over Javonte. They're kind of in similar boats here. Don't like it, right? If I had Najee or Javante, they're on the trade block. I'm trying to make active trades. I'm just consistently being active in my league. Rave says, is Rice a top 5 wide receiver rest of the season? Rice is a league winner, right? I can't guarantee you he'll be a top 5, but the route he's going, he sure looks like it. For sure, he will finish top 8, but he is a league winner, must start guy, a wide receiver 1 for fantasy football and in his team. He's really good.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like is like the rest of the season, he's got some unfavorable matchups, but even with those unfavorable matchups, he's getting a bunch of targets. So he should be catching the ball quite frequently.
Nice. Brandon, what's up, man? He says, gotta win in 2 of my leagues on Yahoo. Money leagues, not really struggle besides our sleeper league. Injuries are killing me. That's what it is, man. Injuries suck. It's part of the game. And that's why you got to hit up the waiver wires. That's why you got to hit the waiver wires. You got to hit the trading block. You just got to be active in your fantasy league. If you're one of those guys, you're like, oh man, I haven't seen this guy post in the chat. Oh, I haven't heard from this guy. I don't see this guy vote. You're doing fantasy all wrong, right? You need to be in everyone's ear. You need to be consistently going out there. You need to get people saying that you're trash and all that because you're trying 100% of the time. That's what it takes. Fantasy is a dirty game. It's dirty. This is what it is. AJ, all the defenses you listed are all rostered. Even Miami and the Titans. That's if Miami and Titans. I see right here. He says, "I'm gonna go get Titans then." LOL. Okay, so it says, "I knew it." AJ, I'm not too sure what he's referring to. IDKJP _ whoa, yo, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. He says, "Yo, what's up, guys? Should I trade Garrett Wilson, Drake London, and Trey McBride?" This is a juicy trade here. Okay, come on. Let's hit a home run here for Rice, Jaden Reed, and Josh Jacobs. I have Jake Ferguson already for tight end.
Oof.
Okay, right now, the hardest spot to fill is tight end. You could get a lot more for Trey McBride than Jaden Reed. Rice would be an awesome addition. You want Rice on your team. Josh Jacobs, he's getting the workload. I feel like he will get more points once Love gets back, but he's just not showing it, right? And I'm scared now because now you have this young freaking kid. What's his name? I have him here on my cheat sheet. Emmanuel Wilson, who matched up in targets and rushing attempts, and that's scary. So Josh Jacobs is on my radar as far as being worried. Right now, you're giving up way too much for these guys. Jaden Reed, I get it. The hype's there, but no. I would love to have Rice. I would like to have Jacobs, but I'm not giving up Garrett Wilson. I'm not giving up Trey McBride. Drake London, I don't mind parting ways, but if he continues, this guy looks like he's going to be a wide receiver 1. Vince, would you take this trade?
Not the entire trade. If you can get Rice and maybe even Reed, because he has so much upside when Love comes back. Try doing Rice and Reed for Wilson and Drake. Rice will give you the points that both of those guys are going to give you. So if you just don't get a good return with Reed, I'm pretty sure maybe, depending on your league, you can throw in Trey McBride into the slot, those flex spots if you have the ability with the wide receiver, running back, and tight end slot. If not, then I'm sure you have somebody on your bench that will, overtake Reed. But if you have Rice, that's amazing. So, strat.
Brandon Rogers says, Juwan Jennings a sleeper ? I feel like that'll be his only touchdown of the season. So Juwan Jennings actually had 3 touchdowns this game, and he had the most targets, I believe, recording in at 12 with 10 catches, if I'm not mistaken. This guy had over 45 points in fantasy football. That will not be his only touchdown. You're having good QB play. You're having decent enough O-line play. And you're having bad enough wide receiver play from Brandon Ayuk. You know that's not going to go away because Brandon Ayuk also saw 10 targets, which is amazing. But Juwan Jennings saw 12. He's the guy who wants it. Deebo Samuel's going to be missing another game. Kittle might miss another game. CMC is going to be missing more than another game. I feel like Juwan Jennings should be on everyone's number 1 waiver priority this week if you are in need of a wide receiver. Do I feel like he's a long-term answer? I'm not going to say that he is, But if you look at it week 1, week 2, he's been slowly progressing on the upside, even with Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk both out there and Kittle out there as well. Jawan Jennings can very much find himself as a week to week or a mid to low tier flex spot if you're in a deep league.
For sure. I agree with that.
Should I trade Kelsey? You should always make trades. Always. Right now, Kelsey is not holding his value for his name. You probably drafted him very high, and you could go get someone with a good name. Do it before it's too late. I think Kelsey will be decent enough later on, but it's kind of obvious here, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Even with guys injured on that roster, he just seems like he's the last option out of everybody. Rashee Rice has taken a lot of it, but I mean, even with injuries and losses at the wide receiver position, Kelsey just is not there. I don't get it.
Same here. Same. Big E, yo. I thought Ayuk was gonna lock in. It was disappointing. Number 11 should be benched in 2 weeks once Ricky Pearsall's back and hopefully Debo's back. I think Ayuk should find himself as the wide receiver 4. But yeah, he still has a lot of value for fantasy. As I said before, he had 10 targets. 10 targets. He caught 5 of those targets. He dropped the other 5.
Yeah, man, I have him in, I think, 2 leagues, and I'm just like heavily disappointed in from where at least I drafted him at. It's horrible.
It's really bad. We're all disappointed. Everyone's disappointed in him. This dead as the most injuries to start the NFL season. I swear, it's pretty bad.
It's bad. At least to stars.
Oh man, Ayuk needs to lock in. He does. Now we're just ranting about Ayuk. Biggie says, "What about Drake London, Vince? JK, LOL."
Well, I actually like him a little bit now. He's not too bad from what he's producing. Hopefully, he can keep it up with Kirk Cousins there.
Okay, there's 2 parts to this answer for your question here, Ray. It says, would you do Rashee Rice for Breece Hall? Number 1, what does your running back room look like, right?
Yeah.
And number 2, as of right now, Rashee Rice is a league winner. Breece Hall is sharing his reps. It's scary. He's still producing, right? And he's still producing. But just real quick, I want to look at the snap share percentage for Braylon Allen. I always
think he has like 30 something percent.
Yes. So week 1, he has 18% of the snap share. Week 2, 35. And then week 3, he's back down to 32, but he gets 11 rushing attempts compared to 7 at week 2. And he gets 3 targets. So he is dipping into Breece Hall's cheese there. But Breece Hall is still going to be a league winner. Unless he gets injured. Hopefully he doesn't. But right now, I think if we go overall rest of the season rankings, I'm having Rashee Rice just over Breece Hall here.
Yeah, I would say so. Because really, the Jets have a lot of players over there that can actually spread the ball around. For the Kansas City Chiefs right now, it doesn't look like that. It looks like it's just Rashee Rice, and then they'll rotate their running backs. But other than that, nobody else is really getting any targets consistently. So I think that's why Rice is over Breece Hall currently. But I don't know. Maybe Breece Hall just needs another nuclear game to get everybody on the hype train again. But he's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, hopefully you listened to us after week 1 and when we said to sell high on Xavier Worthy. Told everyone, sell high on this dude, right? He looks flashy plays, looks cool, got touchdown. Everyone's going to be on that hype train, which they were. People still are, but...
Yeah, I don't know why.
Riggs, appreciate you being here live on the stream. Says, should I trade Mike Evans, James Conner for Achane? I have Justin Jefferson and AJ Brown, so I'm feeling good at wide receiver, 10-man PPR redraft. Mike Evans, I don't mind trading. Yeah. James Conner, I don't mind trading for Achane. And that's big. I'm a big James Conner guy, but this past game, Achane didn't really, he didn't really produce to what he's supposed to, but going to the future, they're not going to be steamrolled like they did. Well, I don't know really anymore without Tua. They're hopefully they will get steamrolled like they did against the Seahawks. But Achane is still going to be a huge asset to anyone's team as far as rushing attempts and targets. Would you take this trade?
Uh, I don't think HN is producing enough, even on the type of team that they are in. I probably wouldn't unless I could do Mike Evans and somebody other than James Conner. James Conner still is a guy to keep. His snap share went up this game, but of course they just had a different game script because the Cardinals just didn't come to play in this game, to be honest. But next few weeks, I think they should be running the ball quite effectively with James Conner. And I think they're going to be passing to him as well, too. But he's still getting the bulk of the carries there. So I think it was just game script this past week. So don't hit the panic button yet.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to hit the panic button as well. But yeah, if you could get someone else in there besides James Conner, I think that would be super ideal for you. Ray says he's more inclined to Rice. Big Money Joe. So far, Neighbors, Rice, and Godwin are all league winners. Some people have all three on their team. Okay. Y'all remember the offseason, right? How much I talked about Rice. I'm not a big KC guy, but I did talk about Rice. I said Neighbors. You get Neighbors in the 4th, 5th round. That's where we're getting him. And Godwin was getting picked up as people's 3rd wide receiver in their fantasy draft. These guys are looking, not even 3rd, sometimes even lower as their 4th wide receiver.
Yeah.
A lot of guys with huge upside.
I think Godwin is going like 6th, 7th round. So he was a steal.
Look at Ray. He said, AJ, stop lying. You're not 100. I'll admit the times when I'm wrong. I was wrong about Christian Kirk. I was very wrong about Christian Kirk. But I did talk a lot about Neighbors. I did talk a lot about Rashid Rice. I did talk enough about Godwin. But look at the other people I talked about. J.K. Dobbins, right? Vincent talked about these individuals, right?
I talked about Godwin for sure. I said that this could be the year that he oversteps on Evans. So
he did. I get so much hate. It's Cam his 3rd favorite now. I understand.
Oh yeah,
I'm his 3rd favorite.
I do remember that.
Ray says, how much fab on Odunze? Someone dropped him last week. So Rome Odunze, it's just a weird situation over there, right? In Chicago. I don't like it too much. I said this at the beginning of the season. I want to stay away from these wide receivers. If one of them hits, they hit. But for me personally, I'll probably do maybe 3%. I'm not going to be crazy about it because then that's just a headache that you have to think about for every single week.
It's true.
I said Rice before you, and I couldn't lie. I put you on Rice. Get out of here. This guy's crazy. Rice is getting all the underneath throws Kelsey used to get. Rice is the only guy getting separation from these guys, right? He's sneaky, he's quick, he's getting open. Everything that Brandon Ayuk was last year, Rice is this year. So just Vince did say that about Godwin. Believe Vince said he's going to be a slot guy more often than not.
Yep.
I'm glad people have your back, Vince.
Hey, man. Big Money likes me for some reason.
So I'm his number 2 now. Damn it. Says, does a team of Dak, Saquon, B-Rob, Garrett Wilson, Ayuk, Rice, D. Smith, Laporta deserve to be 1 and 2? It's been such a weird year. Ayuk hasn't been performing. Garrett Wilson is coming off a bad game. But Garrett Wilson's going to turn up. Rob's going to turn up. Saquon, how are you 1 and 2 with Saquon alone? Right.
I know.
Saquon and Rice. How are you 1 and 2? I don't understand.
He says the same thing that's happened to you in Dynasty has been happening to him. It's just getting like 170 dropped on him every week.
It sucks. It happens. It sucks though. Hopefully it doesn't affect the playoff run, but I can't wait for the next week. Even though it's week 3, something is still bugging me. Hi everyone, what's going on, Jay? Appreciate you being here. What to do with Mark Andrews?
Oh man,
yeah. Try to trade him, package him up with someone. I doubt anyone goes for him. He's a droppable candidate.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say right now. I think possibly you could get somebody to buy it on him. People are still like, oh, it's just the beginning of the season, It was just an off game against Dallas. They were just running the ball. blah 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 blah. But yeah, he is just not what he was expected to do this year. He was supposed to be coming back off that injury, being a great tight end, and now he's just overshadowed by the run game, I guess. Derrick Henry's the new shiny toy, so they're handing it off to him a lot more than not. And then Mark Andrews is not getting it done with blocking. So having guys like Likely who are faster, a little bit more impact there. But yeah, it's weird. Tight ends are weird this year, but I kind of like it because I got some knowledge up here.
Yeah, I mean, you could try to get some guys who have a lot of upside, right? If you want to go out there, fine. If anyone owns him, I doubt it because he is owned in 35% of leagues. Maybe get someone like Xavier Leggett, get someone like Bucky Irving if he's still out there. Just some of those guys who are sneaking up really quick. But yeah, if you can't, I would hold on to him. If you need him for waivers, drop him. That's all I'll say.
Sure.
Love y'all the same. I tell my kids the same thing. Fryermuth, a good replacement for Laporta if he doesn't play this week. And what are your thoughts on Laporta in general? So this is kind of a weird season for Sam Laporta. We've seen it, right? It's honestly, I'm not even going to say it, Rave, because you're going to be like, no, you're not. No, you did not say that at the beginning of the season. I said, keep your eye on Pat Fryermuth, right? Pat Fryermuth can surprise a lot of people. And no, he's not flashy, right? No, he's not getting 10 plus points every single game. But for the past 3 games, he's had 7 plus points. He's had 4 targets in every single game, except for week 2, he had 5. And he's caught 4 balls every single game. That's consistency, right? If your tight end is Fryermuth, who's producing at least 7 points a game, you can't be mad at that. But so to answer your question, yes, it is a good replacement for now.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, look at this guy.
Oh my
God.
gosh.
I don't think anyone has ever talked about Fryermuth. I remember y'all making fun of me because I call him Freemuth or Fryermuth. I don't know. Freemuth. And people were just roasting me about it. That's okay. But yeah, to help out in the tight end collection, Vince, what do you think about Tyler Conklin, right? I think he's very similar to what we see with Noah Fant, right? So Tyler Conklin doesn't do anything week 1, doesn't do anything week 2, then all of a sudden sees 6 targets week 3. And also, I believe we see there's something I noted something on here. I guess I didn't note it down, but he ended up leading the Jets in receiving yards and finished second in targets. So if people are on that hype train that Aaron Rodgers is back, then hopefully Tyler Conklin is a guy that he's targeting, right? I'll definitely get Tyler Conklin over Adam Lazard at this time.
Yeah, I mean, all last year he was averaging like 5 to 6 targets and 3 to 4 receptions every game. He was one of the guys where I was like in limbo of having him on the bench or letting him go for waivers, but he was consistent getting like 5 to 10 points, and then on the high upside, like up to 15, like he did this week in week 3. So he's going to be a good guy to have. I mean, he won't get 15 points every single week, but he will be that consistent guy that it's going to get you points at least.
For sure. AJ was drafting Muth and Mox. We were doing help. Come on, dude. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Yo, am I good on Moody Ross rest of the season, or should I grab another dude? Honestly, if there's a better kicker out there, you should, but I wouldn't freak out on Jake Moody. Yeah, he missed that 55. Yeah, everyone's pissed off at him. Yes, I'm pissed off at him. But this is an offense that's ranked, I believe, 3rd in the NFL right now. They're going to have a lot of scoring opportunities, and in the future, they're going to have, easier kicks for Jake Moody. For kickers, it's kind of hard. I hate to say rest of the season unless you have someone like Aubrey. But if there's someone better on the waiver, go pick him up. I wouldn't freak out too much about Moody. He's still going to get his points.
For sure.
Rodgers never threw to tight end before, and now he's targeting Conklin.
He never had a tight end.
That's also true.
So
Oh, Reed will have a, he will have a
And
field day.
Mercedes Lewis, he'd be like, "You're gonna say Mercedes Lewis is not a tight end?"
Or what was his thing for fantasy football? Something's corner.
Oh, it's their last tight end. He's not even. He's the guy that's been passed around. I think is what he said. I can't even
I
remember
forgot
his
his
name,
name.
bro.
It was something corner.
I'm gonna look for his name now because I'm gonna be freaking going crazy.
Ray says, "Yeah, I pissed. If he hits that, I win my week." I'm pissed too because in our leagues we have consequences whenever a kicker misses a field goal, and my kicker had 0 points. At one point, he had -2 points. But yeah, I lost my game by, I think, I lost my game by 3 points. Sucks. Thoughts on Kincaid? If the Bills continue to look how they looked, I wouldn't mind having Kincaid, but you're seeing like a lot of people getting involved over there. Kincaid's not a bad option. Like I said, right now we're in a wasteland for tight ends. Kincaid's not a bad option here for you.
Yeah, serviceable.
Would you trade Najee Harris and McLaurin for AJ Brown? Right now, I have no value on Najee now that they have another guy rotating in the backfield. Scary Terry did look good at the end of last game. For AJ Brown, I personally would take that. I like AJ Brown. I think he's a wide receiver 1, and he's going to help you out tremendously. Would you take this, Vince?
Let me read it. Would you take trade Najee and McLaurin for AJ Brown? I mean, yeah, it just depends on your entire roster, but if McLaurin is one of your better wide receivers, if you can get AJ Brown for some reason, yeah, do it. I think he's going to come back pretty good. Of course, hamstrings are pesky, so if he does get injured again, it's going to be another 3 or 4 weeks out. So just keep that in mind. But I mean, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't get that trade, it's no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders do find their path and continue to get Terry McLaurin the ball. Before the past 2 weeks, they just couldn't get that connection going on. Is CMC going to be back by week 5 or 6? Yeah, I know that he's seen a specialist in Germany. Right now, we don't know anything. I highly doubt it. I'm thinking maybe week 8 for CMC at the earliest.
Yeah, honestly, that's where I saw it before. I was hopeful that he would be back by week 6 by the time we're gonna go see that game live. But I mean, with no news whatsoever, it seems like week 8, maybe even week 10 at the latest. But it's just skepticism. We'll see if anything comes out.
Big Money Joe says Knox still getting work, but Kincaid is like their third option behind Cook and Khalil Shakir. Yeah, kind of right. They're kind of ignoring Keon Coleman for whatever reason, dude.
I don't know, man.
He's not a bad wide receiver.
He gets open.
Dizzle says if I made the trade, my team would be Hurts, Gibbs, Mason, Brooks, Cup, Wilson, AJ Brown, Laporta.
It's a nice team.
Yeah, not bad at all. Says K Dizzle, yes, trade me AJB for Najee and McLaurin. For sure. Saying specialist that you guys are using us for trades right now. Really?
Yep, pretty much.
Man, I'm just kidding. That's a horrible trade. Do not get AJ Brown for Terry McLaurin and Najee. I was just joking about Najee. He has so much upside here.
It's okay, man. It's like it's super hard to get a trade passed in our league.
Dude, I think the only trade that passed in that league was the Gabe and Brandon.
Yeah.
I don't know. Same specialist that Kobe saw in Germany. Rest in peace. Derek Carr or Geno Smith. It's kind of. I'd probably go Geno. Don't get fooled on this last game. They were absolutely just beating the crap out of the Dolphins. So I think this game's gonna be a little more competitive, where Geno's gonna be passing the ball a tiny bit more.
Yeah, man. The games with the Lions are always super pass heavy. But yeah, if you look at it, I mean, Gino didn't play his best game this past game, but Detroit somehow he just always does. I don't know how, but he does it. So
yeah. Ninu Pena, appreciate you being here. Says dropping that boy Zamir tonight. Nice, congratulations. It is time to drop Zamir White. So yeah, don't think about it too much, because then you can hold on to him, and then you're going to be regretting it every single week. And then you're going to start him because they have an easy matchup, and then he only gets 3 points, and
yeah.
you just look at yourself in the mirror like, what's wrong with
Why?
you? You left
Like,
Khalil
why?
Shakir in the bench, right? Like what? Would you trade Mason and Terry for Ann for Jan, who's
AJB.
oh AJB? Is that
Dizzle
what
was
he's
like, holy auto.
He's spasming out here. Would I trade Mason and Terry for AJB? I think at that point I would say no. I'm keeping Jordan Mason there.
Yeah.
I have way more value. Jordan Mason might finish out the fantasy season.
Honestly,
That's just how it is. And don't be fooled, Jordan Mason is going to continue to be a top 10 running back every single week.
yeah, with your roster, I wouldn't.
I don't know how Gabe gets all these trades, because no one pays attention to they see people like Vincent. Okay.
No.
They see my name. Oh,
no. Yeah.
They see Gabe, they're like,
yeah, I guess he could use the help. Hold on.
That's a decent enough trade. Yeah.
I know. There was like 5 comments. Oh, that's a pretty good trade.
I was like, what? Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. All right. I backed out of the first trade. I had the heart.
Dude, that was going to be horrendous.
I feel the trade that passed, I never got a noti. You got to have the notifications on. I think from now on, if I need to, I'll pin all trades, just so like if you ever go in the chat, you see a pin message there. But I tell everyone, I message people separately. I say, hey, there's a trade. Make sure you go vote. Yeah. And they say okay, and sometimes they still don't vote, right? And it's like, hey, we got to vote, but. What? Andrea's saying what to Dizzle's like spasm over there. Nino Pena says, in a 10-man league, I'm tempted to accept this trade because it has best player available. Any thoughts? He wants Devontae Smith, George Pickens, B Rob for Nico, McBride, and Ty Chandler. Okay.
Honestly, it depends on your team. If you're getting Nico Collins and McBride out of that, I don't think it's bad, but you have to have good running backs and good wide receivers behind Devontae and Pickens for me to want that.
You're losing a lot of skills here.
Yeah. Nico is great, but there's going to be weeks when he's not a top 5 wide receiver. So that's why I need to see some good wide receivers behind Devontae and Pickens.
Yeah, I'm going to say no. Even with Pat Fryermuth there, not a bad option. You're not drowning, right? But you're not sitting comfortably like how you would be with Trey McBride. But you're going to be losing a lot of skill position there if you make that trade. Ninu Pena, Zamir just had his easiest game and blew it. Yeah, you're getting rid of Zamir. Dylan Fink, appreciate you being here. Dylan says 0-3, all players struggling / hurt. Redraft full PPR, just traded away Anthony Richardson. Good for you for trading him away. Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby's back, so he's going to be losing some reps. Garrett Wilson, I like Garrett Wilson, to get Lamar Jackson, absolute dub between him and Anthony Richardson. Montgomery, he's getting his freak on, so absolute dub there between Etienne. Brandon Ayuk, I like Garrett Wilson here a little bit more, but Ayuk had 10 targets, fantasy, relevant, but slightly lower. Felt risky. I love Wilson, but cannot afford another loss. I think you made the right move here.
Yeah, because waivers, especially in a 10-man, I believe this should be a 10-man the way you drafted. But honestly, I think this is not a bad trade. I think, maybe you go a little bit down in the wide receivers, but you went astronomically up with both Anthony Richardson and Etienne getting off your roster. Etienne Yeah, Tank Bigsby's going to come back and he's going to eat into his production once he's healthy again. So I think Montgomery, for some reason, I don't know, man, he's just the freaking greatest running back ever whenever he gets out there. Because I think right now he's averaging 5 yards per carry. 50% snap share, yeah, but they're just feeding him whenever he's in. So pretty crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that. Not bad. I would go for it. Like I'm looking at week 12 and beyond. Is Mason going to be that guy? So that's where things get kind of shaky, right? Because I think maybe week 8 is at best we'll see CMC back. But when CMC does get back for the next 2 games, they're going to ease him in there, put him on a snap count. So that leaves you with 2 games, right? I don't know. Like I said, he very well might just finish the fantasy football season. Have 3-0 RN, so playoffs looking solid. Don't say that now. Don't say that now. We'll see. We'll see. It's been a weird fantasy football year so far. Is Swift droppable? Swift is tradable. He's borderline droppable at this point. But if you got people like who look for upside, you can find someone and get a trade partner going.
Yeah, I think so. I would be a guy who tries to trade for Swift. Wouldn't give away a lot for it, but I see some upside later in the season.
Show. Big White Joe says Vince voted for. He's calling you out, Vince.
I did because I was facing Brandon, and I knew if that trade went through, I would win. So,
dude, I felt so bad. I feel like Gabriel won that trade, and then Devontae Smith gets injured right away.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, bro,
serves him right, but it just happens. It just happens.
Demon Yo says Olave or Garrett Wilson. We might have different opinions here, Vince. I think both of them are great options. But I like Garrett Wilson here just because he throws that temper tantrum and then he gets the targets, right? He leads the team in targets this past week. He didn't get the points, he didn't get there. But I think looking forward, you could guarantee that Garrett Wilson is going to get at least 7 targets a game.
Yeah, I think the guy that's going to be more consistent is Garrett Wilson. I think Olave and that entire offense runs through Kamara. But once Shaheed gets back and gets going, they're usually long bombs. So Chris Olave is not going to be getting those third down types of receptions anymore. And I mean, he hasn't really been the guy that they focus on when they're in the red zone. So this touchdown that he got was pretty lucky because Shaheed was just locked up. But yeah, I think Garrett Wilson in the long run, more consistent.
Let's see, Colts was an easy game for Swift and he blew it. Swift does not look good right now. Thoughts on Dak? I think they figured out the offense in the last quarter. I don't think they figured out the offense. I think they just got a lot of garbage points there. I mean, it's towards the end of the game. I was getting ready to like just drop Dak Prescott in the middle of a match. But then he scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and I was like, okay, I might give you a shot next week. But
he survived one more week, yeah.
Yeah, you got your
Pretty
clearance
much.
for next week. But yeah, I don't think they're figuring anything out yet. You see CeeDee Lamb very frustrated on the field.
Dude, I don't know how he can't find him. Like, he's the best receiver last year, and you can't even throw it his way for some reason.
I'm so glad my trade got denied from the guy. I was willing to trade Brandon Ayuk, Drake London, Jerome Ford, and Nick Chubb for CeeDee Lamb. He said no.
Yep.
No, it wasn't even Brandon Ayuk, bro. It was Malik. It was not Malik Neighbors. It was Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison, yeah.
Yeah, he said no. And I was like, okay, I can live with it. And now I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Monty got that O-line. Lamar, bum, Ayuk will figure it out, hopefully. I mean, he's getting the targets. He has to. Can we discuss how Sam Darnold involved in NSP Gold League trade? I will say my part real quick first, okay? Just so it's not only Vincent here fighting this fight, but you miss one of them. One, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right?
Exactly.
2, you see a hot guy. And there's a reason why we used to make videos that say sell high, buy low. Right now, Sam Darnold's a sell high candidate.
Coach,
quarterbacks are underperforming. Sam Darnold is the second ranked quarterback in fantasy football right now. So if you go to someone who had Jordan Love, for example, and you're like, hey, you want Sam Darnold?
Here you
They're like,
go.
oh wow, I need 20 points a game.
Get a
I need
taste of
that.
this.
But yeah, I think it's a good tactic to have,
Mhm.
right? But I don't dislike it. I dislike that it's not me, but I don't dislike it.
Yeah, man. Some people are also just not believers in waiver wire. So when I see a team that doesn't really go after a waiver wire pickup because they're loyal to the quarterback that they had, uh, I was like, let me just try this out. And literally, I sent it and I messaged him like, hey, I sent you a trade. Not even 30 seconds later, it was accepted. I was like, oh, okay, I'm cool with that. So but yeah, like I just said, you just miss out if you don't take the shot. So might as well be annoying. Take the shot.
Exactly. Garrett Wilson about to cook week 5 and beyond. I agree. I think he will. Hopefully he returns out the Jets and gets some touchdown value. He just has been hitting the end zone a lot so far this year. Dang, dude, you going down this week, Vince. First place is
Jeez.
coming to me. I believe you guys are first and second, right? If I'm not mistaken.
From what I'm assuming, yeah, I think he's 2-1. He might be 3-0 actually. I don't know, but I think in that league, I'm the only one that's still surviving at 3-0.
I don't know how last week I have the highest points out there. Uh, and I had like over 30 points on the bench that I
Yeah,
left out there. And this week I only scored 96. I'm like, wait.
same, bro. I have a team where I scored 182 last week. This week, 96. I was like, what the what? Like what? It was just a bad week.
Fantasy is tough this year.
Yeah.
Absolutely tough. And that's okay. We're excited. I think Dallas smokes New York this week. We'll see. Hopefully, it's a good game because
Hopefully.
it's Thursday night. You have Reed and I, and last 2 weeks it sucked. Dallas my survivor pick this week. This all lives. Green Bay will bring Darnold back to earth. I don't
I
know.
don't
I don't
know.
think this is the
Yeah,
game.
I don't think so either. Even if Love plays, the history between those teams is just there's always a good game. So
Dizzle says, haven't been offered a trade from NSP Cast. They know Dizzle ain't a fool. The only reason why I haven't offered you a trade is because you publicly announced that you do not trade early in the season.
yeah. So why are we gonna rest our like we're gonna waste our breath on you?
Yeah.
It's just gonna be denied.
3-1, 2-1. Nice. How TF does defense work? I think Green Bay got me like 40 points last week. So defense, they have a lot of consequences and they have a lot of perks,
Yep.
right? So defenses, if they get, I think like flagged or something like that, it's minus points. If you get a fumble recovery, I believe you get 0.01 points for
Yard.
every yard or something like that you get. I try to make it fun. I try to make defense relevant here. And so there's a lot of perks. If you get a sack and a fumble, you get a bonus point, just stuff like that. Same thing with kickers, right? If they kick past 50, you get an extra point. If you get past 60, you get an extra 2 points.
Yep.
If you miss, you get minus 2 points. It's fun. Brother, that's absurd with defense. LOL. It hasn't been a game breaker at all.
No.
If you look at these teams, it hasn't been killing people. If anything, defenses are still getting 3 points, 6 points. It's only if a defense absolutely goes out. Aubrey's the best. I've been saying that. Aubrey is the guy to have. I should have gotten him, dude. Should have gotten him. But that's okay. I got JK. I got JK Dobbins.
Dobbins.
But yeah, it looks like we caught up with all of our comments here, Vince.
Wow. Yeah, we really haven't talked about too much. I think we were at quarterbacks, to be honest. And then just got flooded.
Yeah, I mean, besides Geno Smith, the only other quarterback that I'll be looking at is, we talked about him too. I guess we did talk about quarterbacks. Sam Darnold was my other guy. Sam Darnold, he's owned in 38% of leagues. He's still available. I mean,
dude. I may even still take a chance on Andy Dalton. I mean, only owned in 7% of leagues. If you have super bad troubles with any quarterback and it's a deep league, I'm pretty sure Andy Dalton's there. So just take a shot. He might work out. You never know.
Andrea, what defenses are you streaming this week? Defenses that I really like this week. I got the Steelers against the Colts, the Niners against the Patriots, the Jets against the Broncos, or you could pick up any team between the Dolphins and the Titans. They're going up against each other. You could pick them both up. It's going to be bad. It's going to be an ugly game. Nah, but I'll take Wilson for people on my team. I don't even know who is on my team. They're talking trades right now. But yeah, one guy I do really want to talk about here. I mean, I guess not too much. Some wide receivers. I got Xavier Legette and Tutu Atwell. Both of them would have high roles because of injuries. Xavier Legette is not a guy you could pick up and just put in your team automatically. Xavier Legette should have a higher role due to the injury with Adam Thielen. He should be the deep threat guy. Johnson's still the wide receiver one. But Xavier Legette, he's available, and he's a guy you can get in deep leagues and put in your flex spot.
Cool. Yeah, the only guys I was going to talk about are Darnell Mooney and possibly even Jacoby Myers. He may start to heat up again as Devontae Adams looks like he's getting a little slow in those receptions and targets areas. So I think Jacoby Myers might be a sneaky pickup. He is owned in 49% of leagues, so he might not be out there for you. But for sure, Darnell Mooney has a better chance. 44% is rostered in every league in Sleeper, so should be able to find at least one of them.
I believe you just go on the Sleeper app, you click on your team, then you click on your player, and then you should give you an option to add nickname. Not too sure. I haven't added a nickname to anyone. But this is report came out. N'Keal Harry been giving the first team battles of practice. Main reason for 3-0 start. Okay, get out of here, dude. There's no need for that here. But it looks like we finished up with the comments. So not a lot of comments here this year, Vince. Last year we were just flooded with a whole bunch of questions. We're on for like 2 hours sometimes. But that's it. If you guys want to know who else to pick up on the waiver wire, I did release a video earlier today. Go check that out. Or on our Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord yet, the link is down in the description below. I sent out a PDF file of my waiver wire cheat sheet. But Vince, you got anything else?
Man, hopefully week 4 is a better week for pick'ems. But that's about it.
Cool, man. Well, appreciate you guys being here live, and good luck in your fantasy match this upcoming week. And until next time, as always, keep on grinding.